Good morning and welcome to the DFS Army YouTube channel. I'm Razzle11 or on Twitter Razzle11Grinds. Gonna take a look at some pitching on today's short slate. Today being Thursday, April 20th. Been a long week. I can't believe it's only Thursday. We have just a 5-game main slate with a 2-game day slate, so it's going to be a quick video. First look, it looks like there's some potential weather in Chicago, and that's about it for today. So looking at the main slate, one guy that stands out to me that I feel like we just have to fade is going to be Sean Manaea at 9,900. Not that I think he's a great pitcher, and I'm taking a big stand or anything here. I just don't really want to pay 9,900 for a guy that could just end up throwing 3 to 4 innings. Uh, he did look great against Kansas City. Sorry about that. But then he kind of was all over the place against Detroit. Was pretty bad against Chicago to begin the season. And I know Kershaw just dominated against the Mets the other day, but the Mets haven't been striking out a whole lot. And I think they get to Manaea. They could be without one of their better bats against left-handed pitching, and Marte, who left the game early yesterday. So we'll want to pay attention to that and the lineup they run out there. But yeah, as of right now, I don't see any reason to pay 9,900 for Sean Manaea. Based on weather, and obviously the matchup isn't the greatest, even though he just was dominant against the Dodgers in his last start. I'm going to be adding Jameson Taillon to my list of fades today. I believe we're looking at strong winds blowing out in Chicago, along with some rain as well. But I just don't think he's going to follow it up with another strong start against the same Dodger team. And he's, going 4 or 5 innings. 63, 83, and then jump to all of 85 pitches. So I don't know what the Cubs' plans are with him or why, he's not being let go. But he was dominating against the Dodgers last game, so I don't know why he was stopped at 85. So that's enough for me to worry about the weather and obviously the Dodgers lineup. As I think that Betts could be returning potentially today. So, yeah, I'm going to get onto the fade train of Taillon. It's tough to fade too many pitchers on a 5-game main slate. But right now, he would be number 2 on my list of fade options. I'm going to look at 2 guys that I think I want to go heavier on than I project the field to be. Roansy Contreras. I know Cincinnati can be a little annoying and, can put up some runs, but going into Pittsburgh, I think Contreras follows up that strong last start against St. Louis with another strong start at just 6,400. Flashed a lot of upside last year. His K numbers haven't exploded yet this year, though he was stronger last game. So I do think there's, an explosive start coming soon. And I really like the upside. So he's going to be somebody I'm high on. And then in that same game, I'm actually going to go to Luke Weaver. This is a guy that had a bright future at one point, coming up with the Cardinals. And I believe he went to the D-backs as part of the Paul Goldschmidt trade. Really expected big things out of him, but he just couldn't stay healthy and then lost consistency. Just didn't look right. Coming off of an injury, this particular injury is worrisome because it is a flexor tendon strain. So, and we know that is what leads to Tommy John, but He apparently looked solid in 2 starts at AAA. I believe he went 9 innings and struck out 9. Uh, and I'm just kind of trying to pick on Pittsburgh coming out of Coors. I know Pittsburgh's offense was rolling in Coors, so there are going to be people that run away. There are going to be people that stack against Weaver. I will have stacks against Weaver, but I think this is a spot for the Pitt offense to kind of back down to earth. A lot of things we preach is about paying attention to teams coming out of Coors. It might take a day or two for them to adjust and get back to normalcy. So I think Weaver is a very interesting GPP play on this slate. The one other guy that I will be using plenty of is Senga. It's a pretty ugly slate if he's the top pitching option, but here we are. The Giants do have some K issues. They are better against right-handed pitching, so that is annoying. He is coming off of a rough start against Oakland, but prior to that against Miami, he was strong. Flashes great K upside. Has 21 strikeouts at this point through 16 innings. As teams get more and more comfortable with his stuff, I think his strikeouts will come down a little bit, but we're still early on in the season. The book on him is pretty short, so I do like him quite a bit in the spot. But really on a 5-game main slate like this, you kind of end up spreading out your ownership of guys just because there's no real elite options. Like Strom could be into play. He struggled last start, but he's looking really, really good prior to that. The issue is he's now 4 starts in and he stopped out at 67 pitches. But it is the same theory. Colorado coming out of Coors. Now, Colorado coming out of Coors isn't quite the same as a visiting team coming out of Coors. Colorado does it quite often. So, they become accustomed to the changes in elevation and everything. So their adjustment period should be a lot quicker. But, they're just guys that we normally wouldn't use on main slates that we probably have to utilize. You want to be different in GPPs. Look at Ryan Nelson. Looked pretty good last time, but the one big thing is we know that San Diego is going to be very popular tonight because of this issue right here. We have Fernando Tatis Jr. making his return to the major leagues after absolutely destroying AAA pitching, and he is min-priced on DraftKings. Min-priced. So, that's the first ever batter mentioned on this pitching video. But there we have it. That is our look at pitching options for today's Thursday slate. Not very exciting. Looking at the early really quick, I'm not overly excited. Probably Cortez and Sandoval being the better 2 options. Maeda 3 and Houck 4. But, the offenses in the Cortez-Sandoval matchup are also stronger overall than in the other one. So, a lot of game theory to go with this 2-game early slate. But there we have it. As always, really appreciate you checking out my content. Please hit the like and subscribe button. It really helps us out. Promo code RAZ gets you 10% off DFS Army. And that's what I got for you today. I'll put everything in the description below. And as always, best of luck, everybody.